Yeah, so I totally managed to wreck that box. Oops. Let me show you what I screwed up. Alright, so today is the day we're going to take and change up the port size in that puppy right there. I've already been running music for the last about an hour and a half to make sure everything's warmed up, so the comparison is going to be fair between the two. And I've got a better recording setup to more accurately get the audio across. So that is going to end up with a Tascam and a VideoMic Pro. So if you guys do want to listen along with your headset, this is what the audio comparison will be. It'll be left unprocessed, so whatever you hear is to the best of the reproduction ability going to be kind of what I hear. So the box hertz right now, as previously mentioned, is about 50 hertz. So I'm going to take a look inside WinISD. And if you look inside WinISD here, if I take and add a 1.5 inch diameter vent at 3.12 inches long, which for me is just standard, whatever, ABS plumbing pipe, I guess. I'll cut this with my miter saw to make sure it's got a nice flush straight cut, and then I will cut it at 3 1/8, which is 3.125. So that's going to be close enough. Anyway, it gives us a pretty flat curve with a slight bump here at about the 35 hertz range. And then it's kind of got a little bit of a dip here, but I think it's pretty good. Whatever, we're going to give it a comparison, and you guys can be the judge to leave your feedback in the comments below with what you think sounded better. I'll also, after I've got the port and I've listened to both, I'll give you guys my feedback as well. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and cut this pipe up and drill a larger hole inside of that box, and we will install this with some PL to make sure that it's sealed. And let's give it a listen. Just a little side note here, if you do ever want to expand your holes and you're using cup saws, you can take the existing size and screw it into your other cup, so it kind of looks like that. And that'll help stabilize your hole to keep it from shaking around or whatever. You don't have to do anything else fancy. So there's the finished port. Now we just have to install it inside the box. Alright, so the hole is in. And as you can see, there is a little bit of a gap, be about a 1/16 of an inch or so. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some painter's tape over top of this, and then I will peel it from the inside. And unfortunately for me, that means I'm going to have to let this cure overnight, or even maybe for 2 days before I can test this box. Sucks, but it's better to have it done correctly and have this totally sealed than having that little bit of a port. So that's what's next. So what have I learned today with building speaker boxes? Putting the ports and making the holes before the box is assembled is much easier. This will work, it'll work for testing purposes, and that is the intent of it. But I'm glad I learned this lesson early on before I'm building the final speaker boxes. So I'll know to rather use the router and get that diameter perfect and not have to play around with PL, because that stuff sucks. But anyway, it's all put together, it's curing in the garage, and I guess we'll see if it's cured tomorrow. It should be. And then we can continue. Till then, I guess there's nothing left to do but wait. So I've got a couple of different fails that I managed to pull off here. I cut the PVC wrong. It's too long. So the effective hertz frequency of that box right now is 26. And the combo, it's really lacking right now. It's not sounding good at all. Anything from about, I don't know, 200 hertz down. It doesn't sound good. It was sounding so good. I'm kind of kicking myself. I mean, I can always fix it and I can always change it. But instead, I'm going to use this as an opportunity to learn what I screwed up and hopefully learn from my mistakes going forward. The whole rabbit hole of porting and port tuning has proven to be something that that I've learned a lot. I've done an absolute monster load of reading here in the last day while I was waiting for that box to cure, kind of excited to see what it sounded like. And after I heard it, yeah, realized I had failed. But I also really learned how big of an impact the port size on a box can have. So, in a nutshell, I learned what frequency I think that I want to port that box at. I'm pretty sure it'll be around the 45 to 47 hertz range, and that's where the bump is in the curve of this speaker. So I'm going to try to lift it up and give it a little bit more punch there. The other thing that I did is I wanted to also see how or what frequency my existing boxes, like the RTI A7s, and also there's a subwoofer hiding behind that blue chair, to see what frequency those boxes were ported at. After Googling a bunch, I've determined that there is no what you should port a box or what you should port a speaker to. So it's very subjective. Yeah, it's a long rabbit hole. Anyway, I'm going to make another video about what I learned with how to port a box or what frequency to choose to get you the best sound quality. And yeah, hopefully that'll be beneficial to you guys so you guys don't repeat the same mistake that I made. Right now, what we're going to do today, continuing on with where we left off. So it's a Video Mic Pro, not a Video Mic Pro. That is the difference there. It's still on the Tascam, and that produces good quality audio. So if you want to hear along the comparisons with the different ports and how that changes the sound, that's kind of what I'm going to do here. Because I missed the first one, I'll record a track. Actually, I'll play a track, I'll record it, then I'll change the hertz, and I will kind of list somewhere in the bottom what hertz that speaker is playing at, and hopefully we can find out kind of what that sweet spot is for hertz. That's where we're at today. Oh, and yes, for those people that are listening to Loudy and Louder McSun there, I'll throw a blanket over top of that so it's not going to be affecting the results of my recording. So to change the port size, I'm going to be using the oscillating tool, pull out the speaker, and change them one at a time. So we'll see how many different port sizes I get. I think I'll know pretty quickly what I actually want to go with. All right, there's enough of me ranting. The next video that's coming up here is going to be all about talking about ports and how to best determine a port for your speaker, specifically woofers or the bottom end on a three-way, because that's all that I feel confident talking about. Anyway, that video is going to be up here as soon as it's done.